All right, Kelly Williams, the new AD of Kean University. He joins me, John Mastice. Thanks, Kelly, for doing this again.
Thank you for having me, John.
So, Kelly, you spent 25 years working for TCNJ. Let's talk about your different positions before leading up to taking the Kean AD job. At TCNJ, you spent your time as a basketball coach, as a senior associate director. How have these previous positions helped you prepare for the road ahead here at Kean?
Well, those roles, anytime that you're dealing with athletics, you're working with building relationships. So those roles as being a coach and obviously being a senior associate athletic director just gave me an opportunity to strengthen my ability to build relationships throughout the campus as well as within the athletic community. So transferring, those different characteristics over to this new job is helpful with the transition because I'm able to better understand all the operational steps that take place up under the athletic department, be it from admissions, be it from working with coaches, working with the student athletes, obviously, which is the top priority. So just having that ability to understand the ins and outs and understanding the steps as it relates to how a department should be structured and the importance of building relationships throughout campus are the experience that I'm taking over from my previous opportunities at TCNJ.
How important are those relationships, building it with, the administration, the student athletes? How important is that for building an athletics program to you?
Well, I think the one consistent answer that you'll talk if you talk to any athletic director across the country is that they are always trying to find ways to make sure that the athletic department is well represented throughout campus. There's so many times that the athletic departments are even just somewhat set up on the outskirts of a campus. It's just the way how it's set up. They're never in the middle of the campus. So we have to do a little bit more in regards of building relationships by making sure that our coaches are involved with different community, different committees on campus, I should say, make sure that we're visible at other events that are happening on campus, just to make sure that our presence is felt throughout the campus. So, that's probably, one of the challenges that takes place within the athletic director walking and just trying to find ways on how we can better tell our story from an athletic department throughout the campus, as well as finding ways that we can support the campus in other ways, obviously open houses or any other student activity events. We have to once again continue to make ourselves visible throughout campus, and that's that's going to be one of my goals for my department.
Let's talk about your position as the co-chairperson of Diversity, Equity, Empowerment Pipeline. What does that entail? Tell me more about that.
Well, that was a unbelievable experience to take the lead on that, and what it was, or what it entailed was an opportunity for me to work with the surrounding community around the College of New Jersey, where we were able to start to work on different initiatives for students from the city of Trenton as well as Ewing Township. And we wanted to create a structured schedule of what we call, once again, the pipeline of giving students opportunities and accessibility to a college experience. So we would start as early as middle school with middle school kids by organizing middle school days, so where they get an opportunity to come on campus. We'll have a college fair for them, or more so when I mean a college fair, I want to probably clear it up and say when they're in middle school, we talk with them about career opportunities of what jobs would look like, so where they can better understand if they're interested in math in middle school. Here are all the majors that you can go into. Here are all the jobs that you can do if you're interested in math. So just putting together steps for these young students to follow. So that was one of our first initiatives that we included. And then each year we wanted to add a little bit more, which included opportunities for freshmen to come on campus and have tours of the campus, and sophomores in high school to have tours of the campus. And we work our way up to juniors. And based upon your year, everything was structured in regards of what would be some of the questions that those students would have if they're 13 or 14 years old. So we would structure it so where they would be able to be empowered. They would be able to kind of know what questions to ask. They would know colleges, what college entails in regards of even class schedules, even what it's like to live in a dorm. So we wanted to just once again make sure that we were empowering students from the surrounding area to look into college and understand some of the opportunities.
It sounds like you're doing a great job with this, and it sounds like it's very productive. Let's move on to the job at hand, because let's be honest, you were really thrown into the fire like everyone else. You're dealing with a pandemic and trying to get sports back on the field. The recent decision to suspend all fall sports was definitely a downer for a lot of student athletes.
Sure.
Were you involved with any of those talks with the NJAC, or what did it, if anything, what did it boil down to when deciding if there would be fall sports this upcoming season?
Sure. Yeah, no, and you hit it right on the head. Just walking into a role at this particular point is probably the most challenging, experience that I'm dealing with right now as it relates to athletics. You're trying to also first, meet your staff, which technically I really haven't had an opportunity to meet a lot of them in person. And then, you're trying to get the history and the culture of what has taken place recently and trying to get up to date on some of the past things that happened at Kean and how we can work to improve it. And now you factor in then, the pandemic and how to, maneuver with that, with that over your head. And ultimately the bottom line is that, every day we're learning because there's no blueprint on how to handle an athletic situation during the pandemic. So, we're learning on the fly. And as I share with my staff, the tough part right now is that we're trying to control the uncontrollable. And we're trying to figure out what's the best plan or course of action for our department. So as it relates to the students in the NJAC, yes, I was, involved with those conversations. And ultimately what it really came down to was really making sure that the kids were safe, the student athletes were safe, the students in general at Kean were safe. And we needed some more time to get a better understanding of some of the outcomes of if we decide to do X, Y, and Z. So we needed a little bit more time, and we needed to make sure that we were up to date with a lot of the medical changes that were taking place. And when we made that decision, there was still so much uncertainty. So we wanted to be safe. And that was the driving force. Just we wanted to make sure that we were doing things right for the student athletes and their families, and obviously for Kean University by taking the safest route.
That kind of leads into my next question. Since sports will be halted this fall, is the Kean athletics program coming up with a return to play plan for the winter and so on? Meaning, will the university have certain protocols in place that will keep student athletes not just on the field or on the court, but safe from this virus?
Well, as far as the winter, plans, a lot of that is still being discussed as of right now. So there's really not a definite answer. I mean, obviously, what will take place, and we're still waiting for, some of the continued guidelines of obviously state, local, and obviously university. So that's really how we've been making our decisions, waiting to kind of, get that information. And so we're not really sure what's going to take place, for the winter and how it's going to be structured. I do know that we do have a plan in place that will include, how we would go about testing and how we would, keep an eye on trying to monitor our student athletes and staying within the state and local guidelines about how many individuals can be in a location and how practices will be set up. So there's some steps that we have in place, ready to, act if we are given the okay. But the reality, John, is that, it's August 21st. Don't be surprised, by, 4:30 today, there's going to be some more changes. And then next week. So we do have at least a foundational procedure that we're going to try to follow if we're given the opportunity.
Let's get into some better stuff here. Well, once we get past this virus and, sports are able to go back to normal, what is the direction that you want to bring this athletics department in going forward?
Wow. I just think that the athletic department has a unbelievable, just an unbelievable opportunity to really max out their success on the field and as well as in the classroom. From the information that I've been able to kind of receive from the coaches, we're doing well in the classroom, which is always the first step. That I love to see that our student athletes are doing well. They're matriculating and working towards graduation. So I'm extremely excited about that. My next step as within the department and leading department is making sure that our retention rates continue to get higher, stronger. So I think if we're able to kind of increase our retention rates, I think you'll see the level of a success of our teams continue to be consistent over 3, 4, 5 years. What usually happens is that, we may have one good year or 2 good years based upon looking at some of the numbers, but, for us to have a consistent presence, we need to make sure that our retention is in place so where our juniors and seniors can excel, and be able to hopefully win some more championships. So, our facilities are top notch, so, and then I'm extremely excited about that. So I believe that that's an easy sell. And, I want to be able to make sure that when individuals think about Kean University athletics, they know that they're going to get a well-rounded experience, be it in the classroom, be it on the court, and more importantly for our student athletes. I want them to have an opportunity to experience championship opportunities and experiences, while they're at Kean University within their 4 years. So that's my ultimate goal, is to make sure that these student athletes are at least experiencing those athletic experiences that will last a lifetime, as far as the camaraderie, the ability to talk about getting prepared for a championship game and playing in a championship game and ultimately winning.
And you do really have a great staff to work with, which kind of leads into my next question. Obviously, you're a big basketball guy, just looking at your resume,
Yes.
1,000-point scorer at Ewing, just shy of 1,000 points as a Lion. Then you had coach for them down the road. Have you
Yes.
spoke to our 2 great basketball coaches, Coach King, Coach Hutch here at Kean? Are you excited to take in a basketball game supporting Kean instead of your alma mater this time around?
Yes, indeed. And I had a great opportunity to speak with Mandy and Adam, and I know that Adam just been in the job for a little over 2 years, so he's getting able to put a stamp on his program the way how he would want it to look in the future, and I'm excited to see the success that Mandy has had over the last couple of years, and just speaking with them, their excitement for what's to come for their particular program, and obviously just loving basketball. I can't wait to just be in a position to just sit back and watch and just continue to see the growth of the student athletes on the basketball court, as well as with the other sports. I think one of the transitions that took place when I was a student, senior associate athletic director at TCNJ, was being able to be exposed to the other sports and being able to kind of learn and respect some of the details that take place with field hockey and softball and baseball, that when you're a coach, you're really wrapped up in your own sport. So I was amazed to be able to walk out there when I had that role, just to start to understand what it looks like, be it from a lacrosse game and going from there. So not only basketball, but I'm just extremely excited just to be able to walk the fields and just be around and look at all of the sports that will, Kean athletics hold, and looking ready, just excited to just see the student athletes run around and smile.
Absolutely. And I can relate to that, taking, the play-by-play job a year ago. I wasn't really exposed to a lot of field hockey and volleyball,
Yes.
but, you see these sports that you've never watched, and you meet these coaches, Leslie Lafron, great coach for field
Yes.
hockey, Don Perkins, great coach for volleyball, all these sports that, you get exposed to. They're very fun sports, competitive.
Very much so.
Both those teams this year were great to watch.
Yes.
Keeping with the staff, though, did you have any interactions with any current Cougar athletic staff before coming to Kean while at TCNJ, or has it been getting to know new faces for the most part since you've arrived here?
You know what, To answer, well, no, to be honest with you, I'm pretty much new to every coach.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. So to every coach, and I'm trying to think. The only real person that I think I had any sort of connection to was Denise, our head athletic trainer. Just being able to see her throughout, but all of the other coaches, no. This is a time to once again build relationships even with them. And as I said, that's probably the most challenging part because I'm walking into a non-traditional role in regards of not being able to walk down the hall and say hi, not being able to when I see them shake their hand, not being able to when I do see them, there's a mask, between us, which is, obviously it's just different.
Hmm.
And so um, that, that experience is something that I'm hoping that, we can get over as quickly as possible so I can get a chance to really get a chance to see their personality a little bit more, and they get a chance to see my personality.
Well, Clay, you seem like a great guy with a good plan and eager to get to work for this university. I thank you again for doing this, and I wish you nothing but the best down the road. And I hope to finally meet you in person soon.
Yes, exactly, John. Well, listen, thank you. And anything that you need moving forward, don't hesitate to give me a call or just contact me in any way that I can assist you or find a way to make things accessible to you. By all means, I definitely will.
I appreciate Kelly. Take care. Thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you.